Hello everybody and welcome back. Today I'm going to talk about a DeFi protocol that I've been using for quite some time. This is Moonwell. It's a DeFi protocol that runs on the Kusama and Polkadot ecosystem, running a dual protocol on the Moonriver parachain for Kusama and the Moonbeam parachain for Polkadot. On the main page, you'll find all the relative information that you need to know about the dApp. At the top, you'll see the total locked-in value that exists across both chains, the different assets that you can supply and borrow, similar to how Aave functions, as well on both sides of the protocol, the advisors who are working with the team, some of them you might know, 0x Maki from SushiSwap, the investors that took part in the seed and private rounds, Hypersphere, Arrington Capital, Woodstock, Charterhouse, some of note, Signum Capital. You might know a few of these here. The partners in the space at the moment, Blockchain, Rome Blockchain Labs, Femic and West, Hallborn, which is doing their security audits for their smart contracts, ImmuneFi, Gauntlet, and here Lunar Labs, who is the holding company behind the protocol. In the contributors section, you'll see the community members along with, I believe this is the founder, Luke Youngblood, and the co-founder, Lucas Kaczynski. Majin is the lead community member right now, and he is extremely easy to talk to, and he's a wealth of information and knowledge. You'll usually find him in the Discord chat, and he's also in the Telegram chat, along with Octavius, who again is a wealth of information and very easy to talk to. I've personally never spoken with Canvas or X0Sol, but just given the way that Moonwell has vetted the people that they've brought in to their team from their community, I can imagine that these two are just as easy to talk to and as well full of knowledge as is Octavius, and Majin. Coming back up to the top of the page, if you want to use the application, you're going to need to add the custom RPC to your MetaMask in the network section so that you can use both Moonriver and Moonbeam right on MetaMask. And when you want to launch the application, you'll just click on the launch app and it will take you over to the dApp. In this case, we are in the Moonwell Artemis dApp, which is the other side of the protocol that again runs on the Moonbeam parachain for Polkadot. You'll see the relative assets that you can supply to the dApp, as well as the supply APY and the borrow APY. Whether it's Ethereum, whether it's Bitcoin, Binance USD, USDC, the Moonbeam token, Polkadot, or Frax, whatever asset that you want to start earning a yield on or borrow from, you'll see down here the option to borrow or the option to supply. You'll set how much that you want to supply if you're looking to earn a yield, and you'll see here how much you can borrow if you'd like to borrow from the protocol. You'll pay a gas fee, obviously, and then you will be off and running, and your assets will either be working for you or you'll be borrowing from the protocol, and you'll be having to watch your overall collateral. Both sides of the dApp also have staking opportunities for their respective governance tokens. In this case, it's the Well token for the Moonwell Artemis side of the dApp. And if you click on here at the top of the page, you'll see stake Well. Well is the token for this side of the dApp. You will see the amount of tokens that you have staked here, and you'll see the current amount that you have accrued. In this case, I believe this was over the past day for myself. The cooldown period means that when you want to unstake your tokens, you'll have to wait 10 days to unstake them. After which you're going to get you'll given a 2-day unstake window, and then you'll be able to get your tokens out of the staking contract, and then you can do what you like with them. You can restake them, you can hold on to them if that's what you prefer. I like staking right now because the APR is extremely good, and as well there are some other benefits to staking the governance tokens, which include taking part in governance and voting around how the protocol functions and how the assets will be used relative to the dApp. You can claim at any time as well, the tokens that you have kind of accrued from staking. And even if you have unstaked your well tokens and you're inside your cooldown period for the 10 days, you'll still be able to earn the interest on the staking the entire time. And as well, you can then keep compounding your staking returns as you go along. I like to run the cooldown period every now and then just to have the opportunity to take out the staked tokens in case the market should take off, and I can then take some profits if I want on the tokens that I've been holding and staking. And then you can see here, restaking your tokens is just as easy, and the gas fees on both Moonbeam and Moonriver are relatively cheap right now. When you go back to the main page, you will see that, again, you have both sides of the dApp, and when you click on the Moonwell Apollo, it'll take you to the Moonriver side of things that runs on the Kusama parachain, and it is the exact same thing. You can see the assets that you can supply and borrow from. Down here, you'll be able to select which asset that it is that you'd like to supply or borrow. You'll pay a gas fee, and you'll be off and running. Same thing goes for staking. You'll see the amount of tokens that you're staking. You'll see the amount of tokens that you have accrued so far interest-wise. Cooldown period is the same thing. Unstake window time period is the same, as well as the amount of tokens that have been staked, the APR, and the emissions per day. MFAM stands for the Moonwells token on Moonriver. So there are, again, 2 tokens here. Some people get this a little confused, and I know it can be kind of confusing if you're just new to the Polkadot ecosystems, but Polkadot and Kusama act in concert with one another, Kusama being the canary network for Polkadot, and Moonriver is the sister parachain of Moonbeam. And so when they originally launched this protocol, they did launch it on Moonriver, so Apollo was first, and they built out the dApp, and then they, of course, launched it on the Polkadot side of the ecosystem on the Moonbeam chain. As I said, when you're staking, you are receiving some extra rewards on top as well. The staking token is also a governance token. Taking part in governance is an important part of Moonwell, and it also has some benefits. When you want to take part in governance, you'll be taken to the governance page here. We're still in the Moonbeam side of things, but each governance page can be accessed from the dApps right here at the top, respectively, for which side of the dApp that you were on, whether it's Moonriver or Moonbeam. In this case, we are on the Moonbeam side of things. Here you can see the different proposals that have been made since the protocol has been in action. When a proposal is made, it's usually started in the Moonwell Governance Forum, which you can see here. And the different proposals are made by community members, and then they are put forth on the governance page, and then people will vote for or against the proposal. You'll see the proposal broken down, the benefits of the proposal, risk analysis, and then you can vote yay or nay with the governance tokens that you have staked. To take part in voting, you can delegate, so someone will vote on your behalf, or you can stake and vote yourself. It is up to you. I personally have my tokens staked on both sides of the protocol, and I like to personally take part in voting. I find it extremely interesting, and I think that if you do choose to take part with the Moonwell Dapp, I would encourage you to stake your tokens and also take part in voting. Apart from being a central player within how the protocol will function as someone that votes, you will also receive some smaller benefits from voting, and that will come in the form of special NFTs that are distributed to people who are voting for changes being made to the protocol as it develops. You'll see here on the galax.com/Moonwell page all the NFTs right now that have been released so far for those that have taken part in voting. Claiming your NFT is relatively easy as well. You'll just go to the most recent voting NFT. You'll see here MIP23 voting participant, and it'll list kind of what happened within the network. This was the reserve factor. This was kind of a risk parameter adjustment that just took place here back in January. You'll see the other participants, and then you, if you did vote, you'll be able to claim the token. Claiming the token is relatively easy. You just click on the claim button and you'll pay a small gas fee. If it wants to agree with me right now, let's kind of reload the page. Sometimes I find that this page can be a little buggy. There we go. It'll say waiting for claim. You'll claim your NFT and you'll be receiving it. And if you want to double check to make sure that you received it, it's relatively easy to do that. You just need to go and look at your wallet here. That is the Moonriver side of thing. All the tokens, all the NFT tokens that are for people that voted end up on the Moonbeam side of things, and you'll see them here. When you go to your wallet on the Moonbeam scan here, and you'll see that I've got 17 Moonbeam NFT tokens. These are the voting tokens that I've received for all the votings that I've taken part in. If you're voting, whether it's on the side of the Moonriver Dapp or you're voting on the side of the Moonbeam Dapp, all your NFTs will be awarded to you on the Moonbeam side of things. So just keep that in mind when you go to your Moonriver wallet. Don't be alarmed if you go there and you don't see the NFTs because they're on the Moonbeam chain only. The community behind Moonwell is very easy to talk to. Like I was saying, Majin is a wealth of information. I would definitely suggest speaking to him, and if not, go ahead and message Octavius here, and I'm sure again Canvas and OXSol are just as knowledgeable. Their Telegram chat is very clean, and I say that because it is definitely distinct from other Telegram chats in the crypto sphere that I've been a part of. In fact, actually, I would say it's one of the cleanest that I've ever seen. They have some unofficial trading chats, but they don't really get much action. You'll find all the information that you do need, though, within their main Telegram chat, or if you do prefer to use Discord, then you can go into the Discord chat, but it is not degen at all. They don't really tolerate any kind of trading talk. They don't like to talk about market caps or any of that sort of thing. So if that's kind of what you're looking for, you're not going to find it there. It is more or less an information-based chat and kind of like a how-to if you're kind of lost, and as well too, they'll help you round off some of the edges when it comes to understanding just how both sides of the dApps work and how collateral works and other things that have to do with staking. Looking at the Moonbeam and Moonriver side of things when it comes to the Moonwell token. The token itself has been pretty much on the floor for months. So from a speculative investment side of things, this is actually very attractive. When you think about market cap wise, I think both market caps are micro caps actually. For the MFAM token on the Moonriver chain, their market cap is sitting at around 500,000 right now. It's extremely small. Most of the volume is on a centralized exchange. I believe for MFAM it is MEXC, and they do have some decentralized exchange volume here, and you'll find most of that on the Solarbeam Dex. And when you go to Solarbeam, you'll just launch Moonriver, and it will take you to the Dex here, the swap page, and you'll be able to find MFAM fairly easy right here. This is where I've bought most of my MFAM. Actually, this is where I bought all my MFAM, was on Solarbeam. If you're looking to buy the Moonwell token for the Moonbeam side of the dApp, You can buy it on a centralized exchange as well, and I think the best place to get that, if that is your thing, is going to be KuCoin. If you would prefer to use a DEX, then I would say get it on Stella Swap. Again, you just launch the dApp, it'll take you to the swap page, and you'll be able to find the Well token relatively easy right here. Slippage is extremely low. I think you see my dApps page. I'm sitting on about 1.6 million MFAM tokens and 590,000 Well tokens. And I grabbed all of them from these DEXs, Solarbeam and Stella Swap, respectively, and the slippage was always less than 1%. So there's plenty of liquidity there if you're looking to grab a small bag and accumulate as the protocol gains traction over the next little bit. I do think that these DeFi protocols are going to play a major role in the coming years for the crypto space in general, just given how much negative attention has been brought into centralized exchanges and the wannabe DeFi sector known as CeFi, with the calamity behind things like Celsius, wiping out billions of dollars of clients' funds who were putting their trust into centralized entities who turned out to be fraudulent and degenerate when it came to how they took care of their clients' funds. When it comes to DeFi apps, you are entirely in control of what's going on with your funds, and you are much safer using DeFi than you will ever be using any of the CeFi stuff. And again, if you do buy these tokens on an exchange, a centralized exchange, I would encourage you to get them off that exchange, get them into the dApp itself, start taking part in the staking rewards, and perhaps start taking part in governance. Visit their forum page, sign up, become a member, get active in the community, and start reaping some of the benefits. This dApp is similar, like I said at the beginning, to how Aave functions. And being one of the first movers within the Polkadot and Kusama ecosystem gives them a very big advantage. As well, the TVL has remained relatively high, just given how destructive overall the market has been price-wise, as well as total locked value. Looking at the Moonwell Dapp on DeFi Llama, you can see here they actually at one time had, just on the Moonriver side of things, they had about 343 million in TVL at one point. This was back in April of 2022 when it peaked. That's incredible. Just thinking about how small the market cap was just the entire time. If you look here, the market cap for the token at the same period of time was only about 920,000. So there is a lot of potential for this market cap to come up, especially as the bulls come back into the market and we see a return to similar kinds of total locked-in value. People that are investing in this protocol early on, especially now while the prices are so low, will be reaping the greatest rewards when the time comes for the market to really kick back into high gear. And you can take a look as well too on the Moonbeam side of things for Moonwell. You'll see the same thing. At one time, the TVL was 236 million with a market cap of less than 2 million. And that is a very, very bullish thing if you think about the potential opportunity for the governance token in general. There was a Nomad Bridge exploit that affected Moonbeam. This was back in August 2022. This really kicked Moonbeam in the teeth, and it affected me personally because I was holding assets that I had bridged over using the Nomad Bridge, and it took the wind out of the sails in a lot of ways for Moonbeam. However, Moonbeam overall as a parachain has recovered, and as well we are seeing a return to TVL here within the Moonwell Dapp, and I think that this will continue to rise again as people kind of come back into cryptocurrency and the Polkadot and Kusama ecosystems start to gain attention again. And you can see again, the market cap for Moonwell, for the Moonbeam side of things, has been relatively small the entire time respective to the amount of TVL that it currently has. And even now, the TVL totally is sitting at 71 million, making it the biggest dApp TVL wise on both the Moonriver parachain and the Moonbeam parachain. So this is good things long term for this dApp. Again, if you want to find out more, please visit their Telegram chat or their Discord. You'll find that here at the bottom on the main page. You can read their Medium and find out a little bit more if you want to dig into some things about what they've been doing overall. And go ahead and follow them on Twitter as well, because they are interesting people to interact with. Other than that, I'm not going to stretch this out too much longer. If you enjoyed this video, leave me a like down at the bottom. I will link the respective information also in the description section, and consider sharing this with your friends. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, then please subscribe. Until next time, I will see you guys later.